Hey everyone, today we're going to be working on a conversion for this 6-volt 8N. I think it's a 1948 Ford tractor. We're going to convert it over from 6-volt to a 12-volt. In order to get to everything down here, we got to take this off. So what's holding this on, guys, come over here. Let me move some of this out of your way. You'll see right here you got 4 bolts here. You got one here, one here, one here, one here. They look like they're all different sizes, but that's holding this part on. And right up here at the front, you got these right here. These bolts holding it on here and here. Normally on a tractor, it'll have a grill right here, and you just have 2 little pins that you pull down and move out of your way so you can get to this inside nut right here, so you can take that off. And then once you get one of them off, it frees it up and you take the grill out separately. This one didn't come with the grill, so I'm pretty sure it had one at some point, but it don't now. Our glass bowl that's right under here, we got to take that off, and we got to loosen this gas feed up. I don't know if there's gas in the gas tank. I'm gonna check that right quick. But if there is, it's just old gas. We're gonna replace it anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off and loosen up that line, so we can take all this off and it won't be hindering us and mess nothing up when we take off the hood. Now we got that line undone. We're going to screw this out right here so we can take that glass bowl off. Jeopardize losing that glass bowl when I move it. Yeah. Now that that's done, we'll go ahead and worry about these bolts. Okay, now we got those 4 off. Let's move around to the front and we'll worry about what's up front. For up front, we're going to need our 5/8. Came right out. There we go. Now that we got all the bolts out, thing you got to remember, if you want to take this off, take off your radiator cap. When you go to lift one up, it's usually a 2-man job. So Dad's gonna come over here and help me lift this off of here. Make sure there ain't no wires or nothing attached. We're gonna look up under it right quick, then we're gonna go do it. Everything seems like it's disconnected, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the hood. It's a little heavy because the gas tank is attached to the hood.
Hey, why don't I get the front? You get the back.
Alright. Alright. So, the gas tank sets right in here, up under the hood in this area, so it's a little bit heavier. Right here on this tractor, normally on these tractors you'll have a rail that runs from right here down through here, and it's where all your spark plug wires and all your electrical lines go. But I guess somebody wanted to do it differently on this, and they've already upgraded this before and worked on it, and they wanted to get rid of it. So it makes it a little bit easier, but we got to figure out how we're going to run the lines so it won't be tangled up with nothing else. So we're going to go ahead and cut this belt because we're not going to need this belt no more. These are an electrician's pliers. Alright, right here you got your wires that connect to your generator. We're not going to use any of these wires no more because in the new kit that we got has all the wires for our 12-volt conversion. So we're going to go ahead and get these wires off of here. We can just snip them. We're not going to need them no more. So we can just cut that off here. Right here is your coil. We're going to go ahead and cut our connector to this old coil right here. Okay, so this should just slide right out of here. And you have one more holding it right back here. Another different size. Well, there we go. Set that there. We have another connection right here, but it looks like it's just a simple bolt that you can just turn by hand, and it is. Lift that up, back, and then it's off. We'll go ahead and look at all our parts we got here. Got our new belt we're going to need, our new wiring harness, all our brackets we're going to need. Got 3 brackets, our bolts for it. This is our new resistor. This is our new coil. And I'm going to go ahead and put the coil on right now. Let's push this forward. That comes clean. Your gasket should stay on there. And I'm going to set this one just like that one went. Make sure you get it on there right. These wires in the way. There it is. And you just pull it back in place. The next part we're going to put on is our bracket that goes right here. This one right here. This is our alternator. Just taking this out, just see what all we got here. It's a 1-wire alternator. Looks pretty good, but this is going to sit on there just like so. There's that. We're going to put one more on. Another bracket goes right up here. Well, I'll take that off. For this step, we're going to need a torque wrench after we take this one off. You don't want to do it with your impact driver putting it back on. This is cast iron. Crack it, you have to buy a brand new head. Don't do that. This one has 2 brackets. One that you can adjust from right here with these holes, whichever way you want it. You can adjust your alternator with that. I'm going to get my torque wrench, then we'll torque it down to, I think it's 50 foot-pounds. Before we do that step, putting that bracket on, we're going to go ahead and let the water out of here. I couldn't find no screwdriver, but my knife works just as good. Go ahead and let all that out. If you don't let all that out, all the stuff that's, all the antifreeze and all the water that's in there is going to leak out while you're putting that bracket on. You don't want that. So it's best if we're just going to flush the system and put new antifreeze and new water back in it. that way to raise this up and get it away from this.
Yeah.
After we get done messing with this, we're gonna go feed the birds back here. We got chickens and ducks. Probably hear the ducks this whole video. When we tighten this back down, we're gonna tighten it to 50 foot-pounds. I usually snug both of mine up before I go to tighten them all the way down, before I put the torque on them. Well, we're listening for a click. It didn't click yet, so that's what we're listening for. That's when we're going to stop. We're going to do this one the same way. Okay. It's got all these different holes so you can adjust where you want it. Thinking we're going to use this second from the last hole. Now that we got this on and it's all mocked up where we think we want everything, we're going to tighten this bracket down first. This, you don't want to tighten it too tight either. This is cast aluminum. You don't want to break that and ruin your new alternator, so we'll just get it tight enough. Let me back off that a little ways. Okay, now we got the bottom. Now we've got all the bottom brackets attached where they're supposed to be. We're going to go ahead and undo this one again and then put a little bit more tightness on that belt. Pretty tight. But when you're doing this conversion, you don't need to replace your starter. You don't need to replace any of that. All this right here is just, it'll work with the 12-volt system. So we'll just take this off so we can get this old wiring harness out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and take off this new ignition, or this keyed ignition for this tractor. So I'm going to go ahead and install that now while my dad's going to go back and find some tools that we need. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. We'll switch this one out and put this one on. Okay, we're going to take off all our wires that go up here on this amp switch, or this amp gauge. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen these up, take them off. They're still a little tight. While I'm taking these connectors off over here, Dad's gonna be taking this Dad's gonna be taking this regulator off while I'm doing this. Here, the starter has got a frayed wire on it, and I gotta figure out how I'm gonna fix that. I gotta run the new one to it, or something. I'll figure out something. And you may have noticed on this, see, this is your red wire here. Both of them were red, but this one's red too. On a 6-volt system, the ground is positive, and yeah, I took that one loose. So positive is negative and negative is positive. So for their ground, it's their positive wire. We're going to replace that ground too, because it don't look too good. Make sure when you do something like this, when you're converting it over, make sure that you know to put your positive wire on your positive, because it's a 12 volt. You make sure that you have them right. Your ground will be your black wire, which will be your negative wire. I'm gonna go buy some more wires tomorrow. It'll be in this video, but it's getting dark on us right now. We're just gonna take that regulator off, run the wires, and then I'm gonna go in and order the loom, and we'll have all the other stuff on and mocked up. Okay, one more thing before I go in for the day. It's getting dark out. This is our new resistor, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here. This bolt that I took out the top here, I'm gonna do away with them too, so I'm gonna use this one. It just happened to fit in there, and then it's just a little something quick I could do before we go inside. I'll just tighten that down on there. 14, I should know that. What am I doing? The 13's on it. There it is. There's a snake, it would have bit me. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, this is day 2 of this tractor 12 volt conversion from a 6 volt. Today I'm going to work on the wiring. I'm going to run the wire from the alternator to up here where it's supposed to be, and from the coil up here where it's supposed to be, from our key switch. Right now I'm putting on the new ground that I got. I'll put the ground here, and I'm going to put the new ground right here that I got, and then this is where my positive from my battery is going to go to the starter. That would be our ground. You got your 2 wires here. This red one goes to your alternator, and this one goes to your coil. We're going to go ahead and put this one on our alternator. Tighten everything down after I get everything on here. I'll put this one down here on our coil. And like I said, I'll tighten all this down when I get it all ran where I want it. I'll come through here. Your alternator wire will come straight up here to this, plus your yellow wire from your ignition switch. This one from your coil will go right here. Okay, on this side, you're gonna put this on there, but I'm gonna go ahead and change out this connector so it'll work on here. And we'll go ahead and connect that right there. I'm going to run this wire from here, from your starter, plus your positive from your battery. I'm going to run this wire from the starter up here to this on the amp meter. Okay, now we got those wires on. This should be right. We got our wire from our coil and our alternator going. The coil's going to the resistor, and from the resistor you got your starter switch here. Your power from the starter switch is going up here where your alternator comes in. This will give power to the coil and it will charge once you crank it up and rev it up a lot. Okay, this is our new push starter. That's what this wire goes to. Put this extra wire that's on this from the starter over here. I'll put it right here. I think we'll need about, let's just say that much. Guess I'm gonna do the same one on this end too. Now let's try this. Tighten.
Hey, put it in out of gear. That's
Wow. I was about to run over me.
Hey, you got something under the back tire?
Yeah, me. We got our 12-point conversion from our 6-volt finished. It is getting a little bit of fire to it somewhere, but it's my points, they're just like hitting it like a now and miss. So, but everything's turned over, ain't nothing locked up, we're all good, everything's working fine. But everything else is working fine. This is if you're mechanically inclined, you can do this right here. You can have this, your 6-volt system put over to your 12-volt system. The only thing you got to remember though, on a 6-volt, your ground is your positive. On a 12-volt system, your ground is your negative. So that's our negative ground right here, which would be our positive in our 6-volt. I know it's confusing. It confused me when I first started with it. That's why I wanted to change it over. So, but everything else is working good. It's working well, and we're gonna put a tarp over this because I'm gonna work on it next weekend again. This is gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something while I learned it too. And we will catch all you guys on the next one. Have a nice one. Bye.